It's Monday, and the senseis are back. And yes, I am awake. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Sports Senseis with Drew Willingham. How are you, my friend?
Doing well, Snowman. Thanks for joining us. We are ready to rock this thing, and yep, now
Well,
you are officially ready to rock this thing.
I'm officially ready. But before we do, I don't know how many of these I can give you. 100,000 of them ain't enough, but it's no excuse for me to miss my homie's birthday, which was this past Saturday. And he was celebrating. I was having a horrid night. No excuse. I take my L graciously. I missed your birthday. I apologize 100,000 times over. I won't do it again. I won't do it again because I got nothing but better days ahead. I know you had a fabulous, fabulous time for your birthday, and you get one. You get one every year. Screw the receipt. Take the receipt book.
Got him. Got him. I got him right here, holding him for you, my man. Thank you for the acknowledgement.
Take the receipt.
I give you
take the whole damn book.
I forgive you this one time, Snowman. Don't let it happen again. Because I mean I'm getting closer there. I'm Jerome Bettis's number now. Made it to 36, so I'm not quite. Dietz says he's a man. He's 40. I'm not quite there at 40 yet, but I am a man.
Yeah,
you're just on a different level of a man.
You are.
But you definitely.
You're there.
But you're
May
there.
not be
But
40,
you're.
but may not be 40, but you're there. You remain.
My man.
Once you cross 30, you remain.
Yeah.
That's all That's all I gotta say. Once you cross 30, the man card is right there for you.
Because there's receipts that we got to pay on out here in these streets. So yes, we are definitely not young ones anymore. But Snowman, I tell you what, man, it was a wild weekend, week 18, and we got a wild night ahead of us for the national championship because this is going to be what you and I predicted. We've been calling it. We are at episode 4 now, but we've been calling it.
We've been calling it since the playoff drop. We both said Dawgs and Frawgs for the national championship, and that's the championship we have tonight in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, technically Inglewood, California. SoFi Stadium's the site. How many points is it going to take to win this thing?
I think it's going to be close, but we already saw that matchup between TCU and Michigan and how high of a score that was. I mean, in Georgia, they came back from losing to Ohio State, but I just feel like the winner of that TCU Michigan game was going to be the one that dethrones Georgia. Like Georgia, we already knew was going to get here because Ohio State was kind of like that throw-in number 4 pick. Okay,
yeah, Ohio State was the player to be named later, if you want to use baseball lingo for that.
But I was just talking with Rod and Rod Uncensored and with Dietz, and they want to give praise to the wide receiver. At least Dietz want to give praise to the wide receiver who's throwing on the ball, is my opinion. Like Max Duggan has carried this team on his shoulders. Now he hasn't made all of the spectacular plays for the season for this team because it's been on both sides, offense and defense. But he is the unspoken leader of this locker room. Like there's. You can't compare him to anyone else. There's other captains on the team, but he is the dog in that locker room. That's why if anybody's going to lead this team over Georgia is going to be Max Duggan, and he's going to get the MVP.
Duggan is going to have a hell of a game tonight. I'm calling it right now. We'll make our picks in a moment. Let's find out who in the chat. Who do you guys have? Dawgs or Frawgs? But I will add this. Last team to have the ball will win the ball game tonight. Because this is going to be crazy.
Snowman, I have to. Snowman, I have to. I have to. This is for you, sick Dicky. This edition of Sports Senseis Unleashed is brought to you by Slackjaw VPN. When you need to get slacking, choose Slackjaw VPN. The smooth slacking awaits.
You realize we're going to use that now. You realize we are going to use. Boy, oh boy, we now we have to use it.
That's for you.
The choice. We have to use it. Thank you, Stiggy, for that. But as I said, last team to have the ball will win the game tonight. Now the question begs to be asked: who will have the ball last? Because it's going to be nuts. This is gonna be nuts.
It's going to be back and forth. I look forward to watching this game tonight. It's going to be more exciting to watch this Monday night game than what we'll have next Monday night that we'll get to here. Even though you don't want to acknowledge it, we have to acknowledge
I
it.
know.
We have to give our picks for that too, Snowman. We have to. It's part of our sensei-ship.
Yeah, it is part of it. It is part of it. This portion presented by SeatGeek. Use the code Snowman. You get $20 off of your very first purchase when scouring the resale market for tickets, including tonight. Use SeatGeek. That's when you will know that your tickets are vetted. They are authentic. And as mentioned, you use the code Snowman, you get $20 off of your first purchase. I'm going to call a score for this one. And people are going to think I'm crazy when I say this, but I'm going to say it. Georgia 54, TCU 51. And overtime will not be required.
So you're going against it. You're going against it. Snowman, you changed your mind.
Do you know how many times I changed my mind this weekend about this game?
Snowman, you changed your mind. I'm surprised, man.
It's what I said this morning. My official pick is Georgia, but I wouldn't be surprised in the least if TCU won the game, and it wouldn't be an upset.
I'm sticking this one out, Snowman. I'm sticking this one out, and I called this on the show with Rod and Dietz. I didn't give a score yet. I'm going to give you a score here for the Sports Senseis Unleashed. 53-42 TCU. They win by 11.
I'll say it again. I wouldn't be surprised either way.
I'm probably going to be wrong, but I just got to stick with my 11.
I know. I'll say it again. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But this is going to be this. If anybody remembers BC and Boston College, Miami from 1984, where there were 1,300 yards of offense and 92 points on the board, it's going to be like that. The team that has the ball last will win the game tonight. I don't know why I see it, but I see it. I just see it with it's going to be crazy. It's going to be the craziest national championship game I have watched in a long time. And I'm so looking forward to that. With that said, who's your MVP tonight?
Max Duggan. Max Duggan is going. He's been what's been the spark of this team all year long. Between not just in the pocket, but he moves around. Which it was funny watching Sam Howell yesterday, which we'll get to the NFL in a little bit. Yeah. Watching him move around and extend plays with his legs reminded me a lot of watching Max Duggan this year in college football. And this is our first look at old Sam Howell yesterday. And when I see Max Duggan play, I feel like that could be the type of prototypical quarterback we could see in the NFL. Yeah. Someone kind of like a Sam Howell, what we saw yesterday. If he plays like he's played all year long, I mean, they are going against a tough Georgia defense. Okay.
Oh boy.
If anything stops my prediction from happening, it will be that Georgia defense. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out, but I just have a strong feeling. I woke up today. My good number today was 11. I'm sticking with 11. I'm going with 11. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going with 11.
I'm going with a field goal. It's going to be, you know what else I wouldn't be surprised? Either way, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a walk-off. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a walk-off either way. Because I'm telling people right now, this is going to be the craziest national championship I have watched in a long, long time. In a very long time. It's going to be fun. I can't
wait. Be better than the Dolphins walk-off yesterday?
Yes.
Yes, it will be better at least than that.
Yes. Yes, it will be.
Oh, man, that was such a joke.
This is going to be basketball on turf. Tonight's game is going to be basketball on turf.
As long as it's not what we could see the Nets become after their loss of KD for the next couple of weeks.
Oh, man. KD is going to be out a while. When they say he's going to be evaluated in the next couple of weeks and it's an MCL sprain, and we already got KD already has 14 years on his legs. He already has 14 years on his legs. So, oh boy, hold on to your seats, Nets fans. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
I'll give you this, Rod. I mean, you speak all this about LeBron, at least in year 20. He's still there, does not make him the GOAT, but it makes him better than Kevin Durant, though. You got to give him that, Snowman. You got to give it at least
ability.
LeBron's better than he's better than KD. LeBron is better than KD, but he's not the GOAT or anywhere close to that.
Your best ability is availability, and right now Kevin Durant is not available.
Facts.
That's all. That's all we got. That's all I'm gonna say. That, but Drew's going with TCU. I'm going with Georgia. We're going to a break, and we'll break down Week 18 of the NFL after this.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network, presents a Sertoba Media production where the struggle is real to be awesome.
Acknowledge me. You should know your role and shut your mouth!
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The Honorable Drew Willingham and yours truly, the Sports Senseis, live here on this Monday afternoon. And let's get to Week 18.
You know what else is honorable? Al Borland, and the fact that he is doing a infomercial for you. And you know what, Snowman? I thought of the perfect way for you to give a perfect birthday gift to yours truly, since you speak honorably.
And that is,
we work cross-platform wise with the Legacy Maker Sports Network and Snowman Multimedia hand in hand.
That we do.
I feel like it's time that we revisit a conversation that we had months ago, and not on the air, but once we're afterwards. You should, if you wouldn't mind, help out yours truly and the network with some of those infomercials and your guy who's helping you plug those, because that way we can help each other out here in these streets, because it is hard out here in these streets. And plus, I love being on something where Al Borland is talking during our show. We have Tim the Toolman Taylor's Lions are in the playoffs, and we have Al Borland on our infomercial. It doesn't get any better than that.
No. I will reach out to Mr. Schaefer, and I'll get some things rolling. I will get some things rolling. It'll be a belated birthday present, but doggone it, it's gonna get done.
We're not even cussing on In or Out Sports Debate anymore. I'm cleaning it up there, man. It is good. 2023 started off with a bang. Let's make this thing happen, Snowman.
And let's
Legacy Maker Sports keep climbing out there, because I want to see my guy at the Super Bowl when we are both there to cover it on behalf of both of our teams.
Done. Absolutely done.
Sorry, Mark.
Absolutely done. One of the backgrounds I'm going to get put up here is RFK Stadium. I got to make my boy smile, and I'm going to find old RFK Stadium. I want to find there's a picture that I want, and I want to find it when they were jumping up and down chanting, "We want Dallas, We want Dallas. I gotta find that picture, and I will. I will find it. The Warrior Howard Kinsel, who's going to put a show on the SDM Sports Radio Network. We're working that out. Is still
questioning
with
Rod
us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, Sig Diggy, Rod West, Fifth Down Sports, Victor Locke, all our rowdy friends on this Monday afternoon. Week 18 has concluded. Week 18 has concluded. All the teams that fought for the playoffs are now in. The Eagles are the top seed in the NFC. The Chiefs are the top seed in the AFC. But I think the AFC has a few more questions than answers than the NFC does. And that's because there was one game where life took precedence over football. And Damar Hamlin
that happened after our show last week. Yeah.
Yes, it did. Damar Hamlin is awake. He's alert. He's been communicating. I'm going to throw the link in the chat here in a moment, but if y'all can continue to contribute to his charity, which is now in excess of $8.5 million, let's keep that number. Let's keep that number climbing.
That was big news, Snowman. Like the NFL and the Players Association stepped up for this young man because, I mean, it's absolute trash that you've got to be in the league for 4 years to get the pension benefits. Like, especially in situations like these, there should be a clause in the contracts that, if you suffer a significant injury, of magnitude like this. I mean, you can't really put this on a pedestal to be what you level it as to get that benefit. But there should be some type of stipulations in these young contracts that if you have a life-threatening injury, of course, we are going to take care of you. There needs to be some insurance with that or assurance with that.
Yeah, there really needs to be. And it needs to be for everybody, young and old, because you never know when a significant injury like this will happen. You really don't know if it's going to happen. Imagine if they had that kind of insurance when Joe Theismann broke his leg against the Giants in 1985.
Just imagine if we had the technology when Alex Smith would have what happened to him back when Joe Theismann. Do you think that Joe Theismann would have actually come back and done what Alex Smith did? I don't think so. Alex Smith proved how tough of a father that he really is because he came back. After all of that, we saw the documentary, the 24 documentary.
We did.
It was absolutely insane to see what he went through as far as all that scar tissue and everything he went through.
Oh, it was
and
nuts.
What he came back, and one of the first plays when you had the other team's defensive lineman hanging on his back. I forget what team it was, but I just remember him riding the back of Alex Smith, and Alex Smith just walking around for like 2 or 3 steps before he fell down. I think that's what he wanted to prove. Hey, I'm strong. I'm back. I'm Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Happen.
Yeah, I don't think Theismann would have come back even with the technology that we have now, but doggone it, it would have been something else to see. And, that play still frightens me to this day, seeing it live on Monday Night Football. But to see Lawrence Taylor, an opponent, waving the trainers over, and then the Giants realized what was going on, and everybody on both teams was waving the trainers over from both sides. And unfortunately, that was the end of Joe Theismann's career, that game in 1985. But doggone it, there needs to be, and you're right, there needs to be some sort of assurance that if you suffer a major injury like what Damar Hamlin went through, that the league is going to take care of you. That it does indeed need to happen.
I just saw a 6 comment about Richard Karn is still alive. Yes, he's still alive, sick. That's how the commercial came about. But yeah, that was still a great comment that he left.
Yeah. Chris Dietz, for TCU to win the player of the game must be D. Winters. Know that name. You will hear it a lot tonight. We will see.
That's who he was talking about in Rod's Uncensored podcast. So, yeah, absolutely, Dietz. He's still probably going to be a top-tier player of this game. I just strongly still stick behind Max Duggan leading this team. Now, if Georgia comes in and completely smacks him in the face, we'll have something else to talk about next week. But
absolutely,
in my opinion, I don't think TCU is going to get smacked around like what Ohio State would have done if they got this far.
Right. Oh, man. Week 8, as I mentioned, Week 18 is in the books. The Patriots are gone. The Packers are gone. And a lot of fan bases are celebrating because we don't have to worry about the hoodie or Aaron Rodgers. Your take on those two?
Both of those teams going 8-9 the first 17 game season we see, and both of them go under 500. The biggest news is when it comes to teeter and totter and that mark. Mike Tomlin, Snowman, led the Steelers to a winning record. He has never had a losing record. I think he's been 8-8 before, but he has never been under 500. And this schedule is what is supposed to be making teams under 500, or at least it's over or under. There is no 500 because there's no even number of games.
500.
So the fact that you've got Mike Tomlin finishing at 9-8 with a winning record, it would be absolutely stupid for them to get rid of Mike Tomlin at this point. Like, he proved if he would have kept losing this season and they would have finished, 5-12 or whatnot, then I could understand you getting rid of him. But he went a game over 500. Give him another shot. Give Kenny Pickett a shot and make some moves in this year's offseason and draft, and we can see a dangerous Steelers team.
They got to shore up the offensive line.
The Packers
got to shore up the offensive line.
The Packers, that team that you're talking about in the hoodie, I was glad to see. Sorry, Rod. Glad to see the Patriots finally being knocked out of the playoffs, to where there's a good chance they're going to go with a different quarterback next year. They may just say, scrap this whole thing with Mac Jones, trade him for some draft picks, some cash, whatnot, because I think they still have him with 2 more years left on a rookie deal, if I'm not mistaken. So he could be a backup. That leaves the seat open for if one Thomas Edward Patrick Brady II decides to come back to New England, but I highly doubt it, seeing as there's a team that went 8-9 this year. He would have a lot more work to put in there as opposed to any other teams. I know I've been saying San Francisco and bringing this up for a while, but I may have to give you the hat off to you that Brock Purdy just may end up being the guy in San Francisco. Still not giving you your aspirations of going to the Super Bowl. We'll touch on that here in a minute, Snowman. But the Patriots are out of the playoffs, thankfully.
Yes.
The AFC playoff picture is a little bit jacked up with this whole neutral site situation because of what happened last Monday night. But at the same time, in that moment, I feel like the NFL made the right call, because that was a traumatizing experience. It took us nearly 72 hours to figure out what the situation with Damar Hamlin was. So that 72 hours was a very trying time. It wasn't until up and about when we hit the Thursday night game, which we didn't have a Thursday night game last week. So we got to the point to where I was actually looking around for a Thursday night game and forgot we didn't have one. And then that's when the news was coming out about Damar Hamlin was awake, was writing, stuff out on paper, still had the breathing tube in, all that stuff out, but he was awake, responsive, and communicating, grasping people's hands and stuff. To see where he's at now, no breathing tube, sitting up in the bed, can communicate. It's crazy if people are out there talking about he can come back this season because he's on IR and he needs to look at his future besides taking one shot at a football game that the Bills are already stacked. Not saying that they don't need you, but they can still make a run without the young Damar Hamlin. They need to do this for him, not with him, and put him at further risk of injury and see what comes about when he actually has to go through more physicals during the offseason.
Yeah. What about Sam Howell and the Washington Redskins? Has Howell earned the QB1 slot?
Snowman, 169 yards, 11-19 for that, for the completions, had 1 touchdown and interception. His first career pass was a touchdown, was like a 17 or 18-yard dart to Terry McLaurin for a touchdown. His only touchdown of the game yesterday besides his rushing touchdown that he had. But, we were talking about this with Rod earlier. I like how he is a mobile quarterback, for one. He runs a lot harder. It's like watching a deer run down the road. It's like you got him running. Taylor Heinicke was a good scrambler, but he kind of made me worried. He wasn't a runner, but I kind of was afraid that Taylor Heinicke took too big of a hit. That was it. And then who else do we have? If you're going to go back to Carson Wentz, I feel like, even though I'm angry with Ron Rivera, and I feel like they should make a change somewhat for that position because of what he did last week. I get it. They were trying to capitalize on $28 million with Carson Wentz, but then, you had Taylor Heinicke, who led you to a 5-3-1 record coming into that. You should have given him the chance with you having 2 games left in the season, and you were still technically within the playoff picture. Okay. Had you won last week against the Browns, and then you're coming this week, you had a good chance, of beating the Cowboys anyway, and you did. So had you won that game last week with starting Heinicke, or hell, even putting in Sam Howell if you really wanted to try some different things up, because there was a lot of hype on Sam Howell to where he deserved to be drafted higher.
That'd have been a playoff berth.
Oh, yeah, and Sam Howell deserved to be drafted higher.
Yes.
than what he was. And Tyrone
Yes.
Montgomery Jr. of the Legacy Maker Sports Network has been a very outspoken advocate of that up until the draft last year.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of them potentially taking Sam Howell, but higher, the fact that he slipped as far back as he did.
Yeah.
I feel like those picks that they made throughout those rounds were good too. That's why they at least finished 8-1. But they were a better team this year than what their record showed. And it was the mismanagement of the quarterback position and other positions that deserves to be a move made. What if Mike Vrabel gets canned in Tennessee, which would be stupid because I don't see that happening. He's too
That's not
beloved
gonna
there.
happen.
But what if it did? They should be bringing him in or trying to bring in Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Sean Payton, I delivered a conspiracy theory this morning, and my conspiracy theory is that if he does return to coaching, and that's a mighty big if, he's going back to New Orleans. The only thing Cole mentioned it this morning. The only thing that stops him from going back to New Orleans is the most important position on offense, the quarterback.
Yeah.
And it ain't Drew Brees anymore because Drew Brees and Sean Payton were joined at the hip. And
you think it's Jameis?
No. Here's that word again. Inconsistency has befelled Jameis Winston. And you want to talk about someone who's been wildly inconsistent, and I do mean wildly inconsistent. It's Jameis Winston. He's been inconsistent since his days at Tampa Bay, and now you're expected to lean on and learn a more high-powered offense. Not happening. They need a quarterback. They need a young quarterback to fill that role and become the next quarterback in the New Orleans Saints that's going to be there for at least 10 years. I mean, Drew Brees played 14 years in New Orleans. So they need that kind of quarterback that they can shape and mold into their offense and have them run the offense for as long as they need to run the offense. And right now, it ain't famous Jameis at all.
It's not Taysom Hill either. I
like
Taysom Hill, but he's not the answer. It's definitely not Jameis. Geno Smith would be better than Jameis in New Orleans, and Teddy Bridgewater definitely wasn't the answer because we saw how things ended up with him.
We saw that in Carolina with Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that in Carolina with Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Bridgewater got the Carolina contract that lasted a year because of 6 games in New Orleans. That's it.
And because of who he was playing behind too.
Right. And because of who he was playing behind. All right, the matchups are set. Let's go through the wild card round. Which game is jumping out at you and why?
The biggest thing that's jumping out at me is were the 49ers the number 1 seed or was it the Eagles?
Eagles.
Okay, so 49ers are 2.
That would be right. They are the number 2 seed.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I have this correctly. When you've got the Seahawks playing the 49ers, it is a home game for the 49ers, but, I feel like as good as they were playing as what one Snowman was hyping them up to be, they should be having a break this weekend.
They should, but Eagles took care of business.
They did.
And when you're holding on to that number 1 seed for your life, even though you're in a tailspin, and it was a very mini tailspin for the Eagles. The Eagles have been the best team all year.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles have been the best team all year since week 1. And not surprisingly, they are the number 1 seed. So everything goes through South Philadelphia.
Before the expansion, didn't the first and second seeds have the
yes?
They had the bye. That's why
the 1 and 2 seed both got a bye.
That's why this really screws you up when you think about that going for the 1 seed, which I feel like that could be the ultimate decision maker here by the divisional round leading up to the championship round, because I see you beating the 49. I see you beating the Seahawks in this first round on Saturday, but I've got it being a close game here. I think that they only beat them by like a field goal or 4 points. Like it's going to be a close game.
They're going to destroy the Seahawks.
I don't think so, man. I think it's going to be 28-24.
I know it's going to be tough beating a team 3 times. I don't think it's going to be that tough. I mean, The 49ers are going to suffer a slow start. I just see it. They're going to suffer a slow start because it's happened the last 3 games. But then they turn it on. They will turn it on and they'll run away from Seattle. They'll draw the winner of the Giants and the Vikings in the next round. Can the Giants after the lesson they learned in Minnesota and losing via a 61-yard walk-off, can the Giants go back to Minnesota and beat them this time? Can they finish the job?
Well, you and I have talked about this as well. They've been exposed this year. The Vikings in their losses that they've had this year, in my opinion, the Vikings have been exposed. You know, they lost to the Packers 41-17. The Packers didn't even make the playoffs, no, man. I mean, that's just hands down, in my opinion, that you were 13-4, but in the games that you lost, you were definitely exposed. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers barely missed the playoffs at the same time, but when you put everything together into perspective, I've definitely got to say, I feel like the Giants are going to upset the Vikings this weekend.
I feel that too. The Vikings have been wildly inconsistent, especially on the defensive side of the ball, letting teams back into the ball game that they should have put away. I go back to the game against the New York Jets at US Bank Stadium, and the Vikings gave their team and fans a heart attack when they should have had the Jets put away. They were up 20-3, and they lost 27-22, and they wound up winning only by 5, 27-22. I just feel that the Giants this time can get it right. I just feel like they can get it right.
Yeah, it's definitely been a great thing to see how things have panned out for the Giants this year, even though they're in my division. You know, with having Joe Judge and the bad leadership that they had previously, and you know the fact that coming into this year between Shermer and Judge, and then you know what they got going on now, they paying all these guys all this money. You got 3 head coaches you're paying through this season and beyond. I think for another 2 more years at least for Judge. I think Shermer's last year was this year, but when you think of everything that they have, you know, has transpired with the New York Giants since their last Super Bowl run that they made with Coughlin, they've been a dumpster fire. And just even, you know, the Cowboys have been a dumpster fire, but, you know, not quite as bad as the Giants did. So for Giants fans out there, for Cody Stewart, who's been, you know, a panelist and part of Legacy Maker Sports Network, for people like him, happy to see you guys get your chance to be in the playoffs now. And I feel like you're going to upset this Vikings team that in their 4 losses were exposed, in my opinion, and deserved to be booted. I'm sorry, Kirk Cousins, you're putting on the ice and getting all flashy on the chain, kind of grinded some gears. And I think that that's where using their motivation. They're using that motivation to come at you and dethrone you as far as one of the best in NFC. And you, as hot as you started this year, you should have been the number 1 seed with the bye this week.
Absolutely.
You're not. It's going to the NFC East and going to the Philadelphia Eagles for how they played. They deserve it too. But I feel like this bye week could potentially hurt Philadelphia as well.
We'll see what happens. We'll take a break and we'll go down. We'll take a look at all the matchups, NFC and AFC. These are the Sports Senseis, and we're back in a moment.
Hey, everyone. I'm joined by my old friend, Mr. Ellis Williams, a.k.a. Mr. Biggs. You called me and you told me, you said, man, I got Car Shield, and it worked. What made you get it?
I have this old SUV, and I know the manufacturer warranty is about to run out. I didn't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Right.
So I gave Car Shield a call. Coverage was very affordable, and there was no long-term contract. A few months after that, transmission went on my car. I took it to my mechanic. They called Car Shield and saved my family on $2,400.
Car Shield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. You'll receive 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental reimbursement at no additional charge.
Give Car Shield a call today before it's too late. Remember,
Car Shield cars go farther.
Protect yourself now against expensive auto repair bills. Call 800-513-9263.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast.
if you hadn't had a chance, check out the Stuck in My Mind podcast with our boy Wize. It's a fabulous podcast. It's a great show. He does it live, and it's a lot of fun.
I love Stuck in My Mind.
We both have been on that fabulous show, and it's only going to get better. All right, let's talk some more NFL playoffs. We went through the first game that's scheduled for Saturday, 49ers and Seahawks. Drew thinks it's going to be close. I say it's not. It's a 4:30 kickoff on Saturday, and the Niners are laying 10 points at Levi's Stadium. I may wind up taking those points because, as I said, the last few weeks, the 49ers have started off horribly in the first half before they turned it on. Let's go to Duval County. Chargers and Jaguars. Jaguars are getting a point and a half at home. And I'm going to call for it. I'm going to call for the Jaguars to get the win. If there's a team that's as hot as the 49ers right now, it's Jacksonville, because they had no business winning the AFC South. I'm going to call for it.
Absolutely. If anybody in the AFC has been one of the most inconsistent playoff teams, and until they prove me otherwise, it's the Chargers team.
Mm-hmm.
You can have all these great seasons like you had with LT and get there, but once you get there, the noise is over and you're quickly eliminated.
Absolutely.
Yes, you've made the NFC Championship a couple times, but not enough times or made enough of an impact on me to make me choose otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguars seems like every time, I wouldn't say every time, but the majority of times that they make it, Blake Bortles even made to AFC Championship games, at least one. I think he made back-to-back, didn't he? Like
he
at least
made
he went
one
to two.
against the Patriots in 2000.
He made one, but in the 90s they went to multiple championship games as well.
Yep.
So every time that Jags put something together, they have something special. It may not last as long as like franchises have had, like the New England Patriots, but they've had some special teams there in Jacksonville. That's why I got to go with Jacksonville in this game as well.
I got to go with Jacksonville also. All right, to the Sunday games. We start at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. Dolphins and Bills. Bills laying 10 at home. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff, and I'm sorry, I don't see the Dolphins beating the Bills. What's the popular song? No chance in hell. No chance in hell. I'm sorry. There's just no chance in hell. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, when you barely win yesterday, it was 9-6 until that safety on the last play of the game when they were lateralling it all around and trying to have one last second gasp. Man, no, they are going to get waxed by the Bills. The Bills are a team that everybody was saying at the beginning of the season had a chance to make it to the Super Bowl this year,
right?
And be the AFC. It could be the Bills and the Niners for all Snowman knows. Not happening, but the Bills can still get there. But the Chiefs have been a dominant team this year. I think had we seen what could have happened between the Bengals and the Bills, and I think the Bills would have won that game. And we would have two teams at 14-3, and the Chiefs lost to the Bills, so the Bills will be number one team.
Right.
The Bills got screwed the most out of this whole thing that happened with this whole neutral site situation and everything that's picked. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out for them going forward. But at least in this week, they're going to beat the Dolphins easily.
Yeah, they're going to beat the Dolphins. Giants and Vikings, we both made our pick. Vikings laying 3 at home. We're both picking the Giants for the upset at US Bank Stadium. That's a 4:30 kick. And then the final one, 8:15 Sunday Night Football, playoff style. Ravens and Bengals. Bengals laying 6.5 at Paul Brown Stadium. It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you, Baltimore, and I love you, Charles Faulkner Jr., but it's going to get worse.
It's going to be like Deshaun Watson's first game with the Browns. It's going to be that bad.
That's how it looks, man.
And the sad thing was, but I mean, the Bengals, just went to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, they're the defending AFC champions for a reason. I mean, that doesn't mean they're going to get that far, but the Ravens have been, they're just lucky to make it to the dance, just like some other teams like the Seahawks. The Seahawks are the Ravens of the AFC, and the Ravens are the Seahawks of the NFC.
Seahawks of the NFC. Absolutely.
That's the best way I can describe it. They're both just lucky to be there and get that extra week paycheck.
Last one of the weekend, Cowboys Buccaneers. That's on Monday night. ABC and ESPN will have the call. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be on the television call. Buccaneers are getting 3 at home. You know what? And it was said earlier this morning and Deet said it to me. I'm either going to congratulate the Cowboys or the Buccaneers.
What did you say, Snowman?
Given both situations. Tom Brady's 4-0 against the Cowboys. It'll be 5 after next Monday night. I'm going with the Buccaneers at home. I got to go with the Buccaneers at Raymond James Stadium.
It's about time, Snowman. It's about time. I hear some positivity when it comes to one Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, the second out of your mouth. And even though you danced around it, who's going to lead them to that victory,
for
Snowman?
10 minutes.
This is where me laying into you happens. Who's going to lead them to victory?
I tapped around that for 10 minutes this morning.
I know.
I had to. It's like Deet said, and he just said it. Congratulate the Cowboys or Tom Brady. It's like I can't use a reference from Lewis Black here because it contains some bad words, and I'm trying to clean up the act here. But it's a lesser of two evils. Tom Brady's at home.
If you're stuck on an island, okay, and you had only two choices,
it
is historical highlights of the Cowboys' career on a TV or historical highlights of Tom Brady's career, which one would you watch? Because you had to pick one of the two. You had to pick one of the two.
You know what I'd be saying if that was the case?
Get me out of here!
And for you, a little line from one of my favorite Batman movies.
Has anybody ever told you you have a serious impulse control problem?
And of course is the legendary Jim Carrey as the Riddler from Batman Forever. No, I can't make that choice. Ugh.
Well, Snowman, you just can't watch any more TV.
Both of those make my skin crawl.
I know, but you can't watch
TV. I'll congratulate the Cowboys of the 90s because they beat my Niners twice in NFC Championship games. That's as far as I'll go. I mean, we beat them in 1994, but 92 and 93, they kicked our ass. I'll congratulate that Cowboys team. I'll congratulate and still do that Cowboys team. Hell, one of my favorite Cowboys of all time is Darryl Johnston, the Moose.
Yeah.
Let me stop tripping. I love Darryl Johnston. I love the way that Jimmy Johnson built that Cowboys team, and Jerry Jones made a stupid mistake in letting Jimmy Johnson go. Period.
Yeah, he did. And because Switzer did get him another one, but it was still
Jimmy Johnson's team.
It still was.
It was still Jimmy Johnson's team. And with that in mind, I was watching somebody play Galaga recently, and they must have hit like 10 consecutive challenge stages with a perfect score.
And people still playing it. It's awesome.
If I had this in my house, I'd be playing it now.
I mean, yeah, they do.
If I had it in my house, I'd be playing it now. I'd be playing it now. Seriously. But as far as that choice you gave me, my choice is
Get me out of here!
Because if I had to make a choice on that, I would be saying
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
And of course you would hear the
fatality.
That's when I do this, like Ryan McCarthy just said in the chat. You must bow to the senseis when you hear fatality. Just like when you hear rounds 1 through 4 and final round on my show. That's where Mortal Kombat is inspirational to us.
Fatality.
Absolutely. But you would have that fatality with no TV on that island, Snowman. You had 2 shots, and I definitely would not watch the Cowboy highlights. I'd have to watch TV 12.
Get me out of here!
And of course was from Haredevil Hair when Bugs was stuck on the moon. Have you prepared a statement for the press? Well, yes, I have prepared a statement.
Get me out of here!
You're thinking on the moon and everything. Or I'll give you this. I'll give you this one.
Much.
That's what I had to. You know what? I have a perfect response for the birthday boy. He gave me that choice.
He did what?
And as he was giving me that choice, Drew did this.
Yeah, I did. I need to update my soundboard.
He gave me that choice. He gave me the choice of watching TB12 highlights or Cowboys highlights, and I'm just thinking,
he did what?
While Drew was going, and I'm trying to find a way to either say,
Get me out of here!
or
goodbye,
Was that the was I'm trying to think if it was. I know that was a catch. Was that the Antonio Freeman catch when he said that he did what?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that was Al Michaels.
Yep. That's what that made me think. It was Monday Night Football.
Yep, Monday Night
Yep.
Football 2000.
Yep. Yeah, I remember it.
I got one
I
more
remember
for
that.
you.
That's about it.
Before we get out, I got one more for you. That choice you gave me,
That's terrible.
and that's making me go.
Yep.
And
Nelson.
and of course, you know what, and of course, you know what Drew's doing after he gave me that choice. He's putting a watch in my face, going. Yep,
made it, though.
he's putting that watch in my face, going. And all I'm thinking is,
You know what? That makes me mad.
Who was that one?
Since I met, that was Droopy.
Droopy, yeah.
That was Droopy.
Man, I haven't seen that since like the 90s, man.
I figured since I missed Drew's birthday and Drew barked at me about it, I may as well give him the pleasure of all these sounds that I have right now before we wrap it up and get out of here.
Well, you sent me a message on my birthday. You sent me a message on my birthday, Snowman, but it was about yourself. That's what pissed me off. Like, I'm like,
you know what?
Snowman, it's my birthday. You just sent me something about unfiltered. It's like, get that out of my face right now. At least say happy birthday first. Like that was
with that in mind, Drew was also saying, "Listen, I'm gonna have some fun. Drew, this one's for you also. As many times as I've had you on either of my programs, and we started this one, the way you keep saying Tom Brady's full name, and yeah, I'm gonna go all the way there, and I'm saying this with a smile on my face. Every time you say his full name, I just want to go, but he pulls me back in and he says, oh God, I wish I had that soundbite. You must acknowledge him. I said, acknowledge him as what? Acknowledge him as the greatest quarterback of all time. What the hell am I going to do that for? And Drew's response is this, because
The truth shall make you free.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Stephen A. saying that. I'm gonna have to definitely download that unit. Oh, that was great.
I'll have to send you a few of these.
Yeah, because I remember I've got the one where he's like, "Stay off the weed," but I don't have the other one where it sounds like it's a preacher in the truth side.
All right,
I bet you.
Do I have the one he's? Where's the one he's looking? Well, Drew wanted to give me a few of these on Saturday.
Oh, you can.
Because of my messed up night, and because it was Drew's birthday, he had a lot of this, eating a lot of these, and was me when I got home Saturday night. and he was saying, acknowledge me. And also
I had some of this at that point, Snowman, the Gentleman Jack, and that was probably as much as I had between from the start to then. Yeah.
And then he said, acknowledge me. And what? And then he also said,
You can put it on the board. Yeah.
And all the time I'm thinking, what? But then,
yeah, that one I like that one.
But then the energy kicked in again, and I had to acknowledge it was his birthday, and I'm doing all of that now because I didn't do it Saturday night, because you have to remember,
The truth shall make you free.
and I messed up. I mean, Drew kept pointing at me going,
The truth shall make you free.
and out of a sleepy stupor, I said,
This you gotta see to believe.
and by that time, Drew was letting me have it. My brain was going. and then on top of that, and you're gonna love this, you're gonna love this one. This is how we close. I finally said happy birthday, but then Drew was pointing the finger at me, going,
Unacceptable.
and I fell asleep going,
Next.
Well, when I told you, Snowman, I already was at this point, and when you twerk someone off, they had a good day, and I was like, that was was having a good day, and the snowman just throws me a snowman unfiltered. I was like, this motherfather didn't even say happy birthday or anything. This shit pissed me off. But we're good.
But then Drew's going,
Ooh, I'm dying.
no, wait, that was me when he let me have it. I'm sitting there going,
Ooh, I'm dying.
and
Yeah, I
Drew's
wasn't dying.
And Drew's going,
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
let me get the right one. Let me get the right one. Last one. I sent him that link. I was distraught. I was having a horrible night. And it turns out the reason I was having a horrible night, from the physical standpoint, I was dehydrated. And from the mental standpoint, my equipment broke down again. And I sent him that, didn't know what I was doing. And then Drew just, in 3 simple words, went,
Oh, hell no.
But I was more like Bishop Bullwinkle Snowman.
I know.
Yeah, I was more because I was.
That's one clip I don't. That's one clip I don't have in the set yet. I'm working on it.
You still aren't you using StreamYard? You can't click on the other thing. Yeah, you just pull up the Snowman in the morning one. You just click on it.
You know, I'll give you this one too.
You're talking about.
So I realized that I think even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, and all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates. Magna cum stupid.
I knew that was saying you into a laughing stupor. Give you this one as well.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
No,
Hell to the no.
No.
To the no, no.
That's what Drew was saying to me all Saturday night. He was also saying to me,
Behave yourself.
What's that from?
RoboCop.
Oh yeah, because what say I know I've seen that before. But
RoboCop.
That's awesome.
You know what? I'll give you this funny one. I woke up Sunday thinking
I'm getting too old for this.
I had to give you that one. All right, let's get on out of here, folks. Thank you for this edition of episode 4 of the Sports Senseis. Drew has an additional thought. Go ahead.
Sunday. You forgot telling about Sunday, Snowman. Snowman joins me for his number 72.
Right, 72.
In or out sports
72.
debate this Sunday on the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Snowman will be there at 8:05 p.m. Eastern in the evening. We will be recapping some football on the weekend, and
in the midst of the Sunday night game, we'll be giving updates as we go along. But episode 72 with yours truly, Andrew Willingham of the In or Out Sports Debate.
And tonight, the first ever professional football player will be on our debate show. Antonio Penn, free agent defensive back of the NFL and Canadian Football League, it will be on our show. Me and Joey Raymond tonight, episode 70 of the In or Out Sports Debate. Tomorrow with the one and only Rob Johnson. And Snowman is back this Sunday at 8:05. So looking forward to that.
I am indeed. I'm looking forward to it. And I borrow from you, birthday boy. We leave you with one badass outro. We're out of here. We'll see you next Monday. Thank you, folks. The following has been a presentation of the Legacy Maker Sports Network and Snowman Digital Media.